strong and say it's gone. Broken hearts bleed, my love was tried and true. I guess my love wasn't good enough for you. You left my body bruised, black and blue. What am I to do? Can't believe the shit you put me through. Now I see you wasn't man enough for me. A real man couldn't watch his woman bleed. I'm on the floor on my hands and knees, and I'm begging, please, can somebody call the police? My reflection looking back at me. I can't believe I let you do this to me. When I think that we were meant to be, you shattered my dreams with your iniquity. Now it's time that I accept the truth. After all the times that I bore you lied, now I realize that you were never mine. I gotta be strong and say you're gone. You gotta
All right, well, that's why I got here a little early.
Oh yeah, ooh, ooh. Free spirit, free mind, free from paper, free from the pressure
Yeah.
to be equal. And you hope to find that love that's deep inside. Sweet sounds of
So
the
you got
ocean
the two.
flow.
You ready to go? Is your other show gonna be in on time?
Makes it easy to let it all go. And if his faith is what I
Glad I had my sideburns done
to
this past
help
week.
me reach my destiny.
'Cause y'all saw it.
I listen to
right, let's go.
the sounds of the ocean
Back to the easy music that's going.
Not
Kill it.
ashamed of my
G-R-E-Y or A-Y?
Don't go
A-Y.
for my
Ed Gray, Gray.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
How's everybody? How's
The
everybody?
champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
All right, the champ is here. Loved by many, hated by few, respected by all, second to none. I'll do it again. Loved by many, hated by few, respected by all, second to none. We are here to give you an election update. I am with attorney Michael J. Todd, and I am Dr. Ed Gray. Dr. Ed Gray. Now, you know, some people doubted me and everything, and they did a little doubts and everything, but hey, guess what? I never can be doubted because I never can be defeated. All right, that's what it is right now. Michael Todd, what's going on, bro?
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned the Dr. Gray off the jump, man, because I need to know. Do I call you Dr. Commish now or Dr. Gray? I mean, how should I, how should I acknowledge you?
What you
Now that you have this PhD, ED, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
PH period D.
PH period D. Yeah.
yeah,
So
okay.
I was wondering about that. So
Yeah.
what's your preferred?
My preference is Ed, man.
Oh, just
call me
Ed?
You just call me Ed, man. You know, when
I don't have to say Dr. Ed?
You call me that too, but you know, we're just in a setting, you know, where academic settings you become Dr. Gray, but and just hanging out, me and you just chilling, doing our thing.
Okay, well, what about the show though, man? What should
the
I?
show?
Yeah, what should I call you when we on the show, man?
Oh, wow.
Because I, we were getting some stuff together, so I didn't have a chance to ask you this before we started.
Well, I guess you would be able to call me Ed, man.
I can still call you
Call
Ed?
me Ed.
Okay,
You
all
can
right,
still
Dr.
do
Ed.
it.
I'll call you Dr. Ed.
All right, cool.
Dr. Commish.
All right. So we see you guys later. Got to tune in later on Michael J. Todd's show on Restream. How can they follow you on Restream, man?
Oh, it can be on Legal Standpoint with YouTube, Legal Standpoint with Instagram. Legal Standpoint with Facebook. Also, we're streaming live on Facebook, and also with respect to the my personal Facebook, and also the Legal Standpoint Facebook.
All right. So we're gonna build out on my IG, and then we're gonna get live back with Michael J. Todd. But we'll never stop telling the news. All right. Later. All right. I'm done with mines, man.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, do your thing, man. What's been up, man?
Man, you know what's up, man. You know, took me a few days, man, just to kind of get my head right.
You got your head right, huh?
Yeah, well, not really.
Man,
You know how you wake up, man. You know how when something bad happens in your life, man, somebody passes or somebody's sick or something like that. You know how you wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night and you hoping that it's all just a dream.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I've been. I've
Well,
just been kind of tossing and turning, man. I don't know what to say, man. What to do?
Well, what I did immediately after that's when I defended my dissertation.
Really?
Within hours.
Really?
I didn't have time to mourn, man. I said, man, look, I ain't got time for this. That's one of my mantras. I don't have time for it. So
I don't know,
I'll go
man.
ahead and do that.
I'm gonna tell you, the day after, man, I didn't go to court at all.
You didn't go to court at all?
Didn't go to court at all, man. By the time I finally went to court that Friday, I had about 19 cases I had to handle. So, you know, that had just piled up from the whole week.
Well, I don't blame you, man. I advise some folks as well. I say, hey, look, if I had my regular job, man, you know, back when I was employed in the industry at AT&T, I wouldn't have went to work neither. I mean, y'all can have it for the day, man.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I just.
So what you think went wrong? Eh? I mean.
Well, I think what went wrong was that. What went wrong? We can assign blame and then we can go what went wrong. Okay. Let's go with what went wrong, since that was a question. What went wrong was it wasn't an articulation successfully of the economy. You know, everyone looks at how they vote according to how much money they have in their pocket. And I think in this particular situation, everyone was told that inflation was sky high, but the Biden administration didn't tell people that everybody got a job.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. They allowed the Republicans to designate what the narrative was going to be as it relates to the economy. But the thing is this, what we also have to understand is that the Republicans just didn't start trying to say that the economy sucked just within the last 6 months with this election. You know, they've been trying to say stuff like that ever since he lost in 2020.
Right.
You know? And, you know, when you keep telling somebody something over and over again, you know, it tends to generate and develop something that I like to call institutional or systematic skepticism. And so, institutional or systematic skepticism.
That's good.
So, and it works to the point where it warps what reality is, because you are in your mind saying everything's bad, but in reality it's not. And let me tell you something that kind of illuminates that. I looked at numerous polls where people would say that the economy was bad.
Right.
All right. And, you know, they would describe it as horrible. And let's say you would have people who made up, let's say, 70% of the poll population who said the economy was either, you know, really bad or bad, right?
Right.
But then when they would ask those people, well, how is your economic situation? 60% of them would say it was okay. So my question is that if 70% says it's bad, how can 60% now say it's okay? You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
And so what I think it is, I think that institutional systematic skepticism that the Republicans just kept pounding and pounding and pounding, I think it warped reality. Because when you look at it, as you stated, employment is down, GDP, the GDP has been more under the Biden administration than it was under the Trump administration.
And nobody said anything about that.
Yeah, nobody said anything
You know,
about it.
I picked up on that before. I mean, you know, every time they said about inflation sky high, no one said, wait a minute, inflation sky high because everybody got a job. This is capitalism. This is the way it works
Right.
in capitalism. If everyone has a job, guess what's going to happen? Whoever is selling the goods is going to raise up on the price of it because they say, well, hey, everybody can afford it. Let me get some more money.
And wait a minute, how come everybody could afford it? Because we had 3 separate stimulus packages with nowhere to spend that money, nowhere to go, no products to buy. So what we had is a oversupply of money with nothing to use it for. So those goods that were available would be what? Will be subject to price increases because you have competing dollars that are working for what? Or trying to find those scarce goods. So, I mean, to me, it was just so crazy for anybody to think that it wouldn't be some type of inflation after all of those stimulus packages.
And I would, I don't want to say this like I would say it if I was in my garage having a cigar, but I'll say it. That's stupid of people to go ahead and think that.
Right.
It is, and it's also selfish of that as well, because stupid and selfish is both.
Right.
Because you would really expect that in an economy that's good, that you would raise the prices of something up because everyone can afford it. I mean, that's the nature of capitalism in itself.
Well, but the thing is this:
But
the American public, for some reason, they want to believe that the pandemic didn't happen. That everything, now that they have Trump as the president-elect, that everything is going to go back to 2019 prices. It ain't going to happen, man.
That's true.
It ain't going to happen.
That's true. And they they are associating Trump with the good part of the pandemic, if there can be a good part of how many people died during the pandemic. You know, that if you're going to associate Trump with oh, I got a stimulus check
Oh,
during
man,
the
come
pandemic.
on, man. Yeah, come on. $1,400.
$1,400. You got a stimulus check during the pandemic. Oh, I got paid. Come on, man. $1,400 you got paid?
Right. But the thing is this, okay? We can go back and we can talk about, right, whether a individual voter's belief was reasonable or not, right? But the fact of the matter, they voted, right?
Less of them voted.
Yeah, they voted, but let's talk about this, because there's one thing you said in response to my question of what went wrong. The question is, we've talked about the economy, we've given some of the highlights of the economy and how that it was a false narrative as it relates to the inflation issue. And when I say false narrative, not that prices haven't gone up, but the reason why prices have gone up. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
But the thing is that Democrats, and we've done this before, Democrats, whenever it's something like about the economy, it's like they don't know how to respond to it. Now, they immediately want to go to the point of, oh, we know it's out there, having hard times for certain people. And that everything's not the same, and everything, everybody's not, everybody's not making it. You follow what I'm saying? But the thing is that even if you want to get to that part where you empathize with those individuals, right? You still have to lay your foundation as the counterattack. So rather than just starting out saying, okay, the economy, we know everybody is having a hard time and all that stuff, right? They could have said, well, even though employment is down, even though GDP is up more than any time than the Trump administration, even though inflation has cooled down, and even though interest rates are coming back down, even though all those things are present, we understand that there are some people who are having a hard time still.
Never said that.
Never said it. So all people hear is a hard time, it's a hard time. Then the Republicans, oh, it's horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible. And so what's the counterbalance? Well, you're having a hard time. It's horrible. Well, that means it's horrible.
Right.
Okay? But if you lay out your foundation, your base of how you see it, but we are still trying to address this, then that changes the narrative. But I don't think they effectively did that.
You have to control the narrative, and they didn't control the narrative on that. And I know some people probably listening to us and saying, "Oh, well, that's easy for y'all to say." Well, look here, it's easy for us to say because we know what we're talking about. But the other portion of it is other people know what we're talking about, and they didn't even address the issue from the very beginning. They kept going after Trump. Trump. And,
Right.
And some people, generally speaking, and since your church folks are on here, I'm not going to say the language that I would use, but but some people just don't give a damn. Yeah, I think I can get away with that.
Yeah, you can get away with that.
Get one.
Yeah.
But they don't give a damn about that. And we made it personal. But when people talk about politics, it's personal to them, and personal to them is that controlling the narrative. Controlling the narrative is, oh, I'm doing bad, even though I'm doing good, but I think I'm getting ready to do bad.
Right.
And the other party's not said anything to address it. And this guy here is saying, hey, look, the reason why you're doing bad is because they're there.
Right.
But
right.
I'm here, and when I was there in office, you were doing a little better. You had a little bit more money in your pocket.
Well, but even that narrative was so false.
Oh, it's false.
I mean, just so false. But they allowed him to control it.
It's false, but we also have to realize that the American voter, they don't dig deep in stuff like that. When you get ready to come on this show, you have reams and reams and reams of notes and everything that you go through.
Right.
It's not just, oh, I just want to say something.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that is one of the issues. The electric. What's the word I'm looking for? The voters.
Say, get Oak Cliff. The voters.
The voters.
The voters. Man.
The voters have to do a better job of trying to.
But it wasn't set up for the voters to do a better job on that. The American system was never set up for that. The American system was set up for well-learned, educated people to know the truth and also to manipulate the truth.
Well, yeah.
Elon Musk is one of them people.
Oh, man. Come on, man. How is this that everybody that's around Trump now are all billionaires, but he's supposed to be for the working man? I mean, how is that? How is that? But before we even get to Trump and what he's been doing, we still haven't dissected enough as it relates to the election itself. Now, I'm going to say something that some people are going to take issue with this, right?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Now, I've heard people say, hey, look, man, other folks, man, the insurrectionists, the racists, the Ku Klux Klanners, they voted for Trump. They wanted Trump to win, this, that, and the other, right? But this is one thing that I've noticed, and as I've broken down the figures. In comparison, back in 2008, when Barack Obama ran, when we looked at the vote, Barack Obama garnered 40% of the white vote. 40%. You hear me? And then combined, black folks gave him 90-something percentile of their votes, right? And Hispanics gave 66% of their votes to Barack Obama, which then led to a diverse coalition that that elected him on 2 different terms. You follow me? So I've always looked at that, and when I say looked at that, I'm talking about the percentage of white folks that vote Democrat, right? When we look at the numbers, and everybody's all upset. The white women didn't vote. They voted more for Trump, this, that, and the other.
They
53 to 47. They did. And the white men.
They voted their interests.
Yeah, but the white men voted 39-59 for Trump, right?
They voted their interests.
But if you just average those 2 numbers, the 47 and 39, right? That would be 43%. You follow me? And it's probably a little bit higher because there are usually more women that vote than men. So it may have been 43 and a half, 44, right? So my whole thing is that they were 3 to maybe 4 points higher than what they did for Barack Obama. But we still lost. But we lost. And when we look at it, the sisters, black women, they were about 92, 93%. I think it was maybe 91. They had 7% that voted for Trump. But our brothers, 20% of them voted for Trump. Black males.
I thought it was higher than that.
What I saw was averaged out was 20%. Black males voted 20%. Now, if you look at the number overall with the women and the men, right? Yeah, it still was a resounding, vote for her. But that 20% hurts, man.
That 20% hurts, and I've heard a lot of brothers say what really they weren't gonna vote for the sister. Okay, there's some and some of this stuff was just ridiculous, man. They said she ain't a real sister, so I ain't gonna vote for her.
And what made her not a real sister?
Because her mother was Indian.
Oh, okay.
But her father's Jamaican.
Right.
Then they say he's not really black because he's Jamaican. Come on, man. Whatever, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
And you're not going to vote for her because she's a black woman. She identifies as a black woman. She is a black woman. That's what she is. And you didn't vote for her. And then we also had some people, church communities, as they always say, faith-based community. They said they wasn't going to vote for her because Christ, it says that a man should lead the church. And I said to this minister, I said, well, when did the United States become a church?
Right. What was his response?
How you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've told you the story before. That
like, come on, man. Whatever, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this. I really think when we look at these numbers, I really think the reason that she lost was because of the sexism.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Well, I think it's the main thing. The 2 times Donald Trump has won, he ran against
a woman and won against a woman.
Right. The one time where he ran against a male,
he lost. Yeah. And then this time he ran against a black woman, he won again. Then you have the 20% that you just talked about.
Right. Because the thing is this: if that 20% had been there, and if the Hispanics, because Hispanics went from like 67% for Obama to like 54%. The Hispanic men
67% for Obama, voting for Obama.
Back in 2008, 67%.
How much? What was the percentile in
for Kamala?
Yeah,
about 54%.
All right.
So it was still positive, but it took a hit because of the Hispanic men. The women voted at a 60-something level in the 60s, but the men were down in the 40s.
And then if we're doing that, and all things being constant, so we really can't say that Hispanic males are more sexist when it comes to women. Because in Mexico, I guess in Mexico they're not, because they just elected
a woman.
So then we have to go ahead and say maybe they were sexist and racist because it is a black woman. But then again, in Mexico, it is a Jewish woman.
Right. Yeah.
So that means there's sexist and racist, but they're not sexist and anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish.
Right.
Yeah,
or anti-religion or whatever.
Anti-religious or whatever you want to do on that.
Right.
We're good.
So, when you just look at it, though, but I still think the 20% black males, I think the male Hispanic vote, I really think it was basically because she was a woman.
I think that no doubt is
and I think
it's a contributing factor.
I think that factor is greater than the fact of her being black. I really do.
Well, then let's address the Black and Brown Coalition. Is there a Black and Brown Coalition?
I'm not sure.
I don't think there is.
I'm not sure.
I don't think there is. I was checking out one of the commentators before was saying that the large amount of Hispanics that voted for Trump and now we're talking about immigration and everything.
Right.
He's going to send a lot of people back
Correct.
that are already here,
Right.
which also targets people who are already here that are legally here, that were born here as well.
Right.
Have
And,
to-
and the thing is, what people need to understand, during Trump's first term, he was not only focused on reducing illegal immigration, but also legal immigration. Because what happens every year is that the government, the executive branch, the presidency, they make a determination of how many people are going to be coming in each year and from where. You follow me?
And he said, Trump has said that, man, I can't talk like this around your church folks, man. But these countries that
Yeah, he called them SHIT. Yeah, yeah. And did you notice during this election, he would start talking about these people are rapists and so and
he's
so.
been saying that.
I know, but then he would say, and they're coming from the Congo.
Yeah.
The Congo. I ain't never met a brother from the Congo in my life in the United States. So, you know, that is a country, you know.
Now I have. That's why I always say this radio show is the best radio show from Como to the Congo.
Oh, really? You do say that.
Yeah,
You do say
so you
that.
know they
Yeah.
actually been here right here.
Really? Well, I've never met a brother from the Congo.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Well, I'm gonna say this.
that you knew.
I'm gonna say this. It's not a high concentration of
Oh
them.
no, it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
It's not that.
But what is it, baby? But what does that elicit when people hear, oh, they coming from the Congo,
Dark, black
dark,
people. Yeah,
mysterious,
right. Like Barack Hussein Obama.
yeah,
when he,
evil people,
when
yeah,
he pulled out
violent.
his whole name out and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you know that whole Congo thing, man.
Yeah, you know.
Well, you know, it plays on people's. But the question is this though: why are people so receptive to that argument, to that scare tactic?
They always been receptive to that. It's never changed.
You know, you remember that quote that LBJ said?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? He said something like, if you take the lowest white guy, he'll give you everything out of his pockets as long as he can look down on the highest black guy.
And that is the reason why it's a strange thing that you say that. Like Obamacare, Kentucky is one of those states. West Virginia is one of those states. They deny Obamacare.
Right. You mean the expansion of Obamacare?
Oh, yeah, they deny.
Right.
Yeah, and they also take Obamacare, but they don't want to take it. It's just the same thing that happened with FEMA. You know, the sister that went out and she says to him, she said, "Hey, they giving you some trouble with that house over there with them MAGA signs and everything.
Right.
Don't go to that house.
Right.
You could get hurt."
Right.
And then it backfired on her because it's like, oh, you don't want to help him, but your guy Trump.
Was the one that was ginning it all up.
Yeah.
But you know,
so
he's known for that. He'll cause a problem, and then he'll come in and complain about it, and then when he stops it, he then tries to take credit on, well, I was the peacemaker. But he's the person that starts it.
But that's the way dude is.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, it just really
King,
is.
all hail Donald Trump. That's what I say. Oh, hail King Donald. All hail King Donald.
But yeah, well, I tell you what. So you know, I'm going through, I'm analyzing, what's happened, things of that nature, and I'm sitting there, man, and like I'm telling you, I'm despondent, for at least a week.
I ain't despondent.
I was despondent.
I ain't despondent.
You know why?
I'm not saying that in a way that, oh man, I feel really hopeful and all like that, because I don't. But it's just that, America is not the America that I thought it was, and it's the America that I feared that it would be, and that's what it is.
Well, but you know what? That's the difference, because I thought.
Go ahead.
I'll never forget the feeling of hope that I had for America in 2008 when Obama won.
I had that same hope.
That we had turned this corner. And I never expected the backlash that we have encountered since then. But I thought with this guy being so crazy and had been the stuff that he was saying, I really felt that the American people would go for the version of optimism versus pessimism, of hope versus dread. And when it didn't happen, on November the 5th, man, it really hurt me, man.
Did she really offer hope, or did she offer an alternative?
I thought she offered a steady hand other than chaos.
That's the alternative.
Okay. Well, I thought it was some hope too.
No, I didn't say I was not hopeful, but I'm just saying, just overall, that's an alternative, because it's hope is where you leave it going like, oh wow, yeah, this is gonna get better. The alternative is like, this could get worse. I'm gonna vote for you.
Right. Well, and the thing is this, now, when as they're counting up the ballots and everything, the Republicans are going around. We've got this mandate, so you've got to do whatever we say. Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember when Obama won, nobody hollered. He had a mandate.
Yeah,
I remember in the second term, because I was like, hey, we won the second time. Y'all got to get in line. And dude, they fought tooth and nail from day one of the second administration.
And that's what I did on one of my Facebook posts. I said, hey, we got to fight. I mean,
Well, that's true.
But, it's like, it's not, and I don't even want to use the word fight, because when a 6'2" black man says fight, people get scared. We have to organize and protest against man, you got to fight.
Yeah, we got to fight, man. We got to fight.
And you can't be scared about it. You just got to call it the way it is. If someone's a racist, he's a racist.
Right.
Because I've talked to some of my friends. He said, one guy, he's an attorney. He said, so you calling me a racist? I said, I never called you a racist at all. In my post, I never called you a racist. I said that Trump was a racist. If you support a racist, then you support that racist.
Right.
I have nothing to do with who you support.
Right.
So if you defending a racist, then you defend the racist. I have nothing to do with that.
Right. Well,
by the way, how's the wife and kids?
Well, what was that guy's name, man? The guy that lost to DeSantis before he went off all four wheels. Gillum, that was down in Florida. Yeah. Now he had a good line, man, because he was saying DeSantis was saying, "Hey, you saying I'm a racist?" He said, "No, I'm not saying you're a racist. I'm just saying that all the racists think you're racist."
That's good. I'm not saying you're a racist, but all the racists think you're one of them.
Yeah, right.
So I ain't nothing to say about that.
Yeah. So.
But I will say this to people as well, and they're listening right now, and I'll look right directly into the camera. Do not ever tell me anything about Minister Louis Farrakhan when you got Donald Trump. Don't ever say anything about
that is true. That is true.
Don't ever say anything about Minister Louis Farrakhan, period, when you got Donald Trump. You don't even have a leg to stand on. That's
because the stuff that was said at that, at that New York event.
Puerto Rico, a floating island of garbage and everything.
Hey, I went on my black friend's house for Halloween preparation, and we carved up watermelons, the jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah.
Dude taking the stage, America is for Americans and Americans only.
Yeah.
That's what they used to say in Germany during the Third Reich.
Well,
Germany is for Germans and Germans only.
Well, that's what Trump is. Trump is German.
Yeah.
And and that was one of the deals about his grandfather. My grandparents, they were born here in America. Trump's grandparents were born wasn't born in the United States. They were born in Germany. As a matter of fact, I have more of a sentimental tie to this country than Trump does.
Right.
Because my people been here since 1789. And his people just got here escaping a draft in Germany, in the 1920s. And
1920s, right.
And then when he got here, the guy went to the Klondike, to Canada, and to Alaska, and ran a brothel.
Right. Yeah, I did hear about that before.
Yeah. So
Well, I guess that's how that just shows you where he, an apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Grandson of a pimp.
Yeah. Grandson of a pimp.
Hey, player, huh?
A pimp. Just like he's trying to pimp the country.
He's pimping the country.
Pimp. You know what, man? This man in this office, in my opinion, this is about to be the biggest graft that has occurred in American
Couldn't happen
history.
to us at a better time.
Yeah.
'Cause
You
see-
got Elon Musk, billionaire, sitting there. And why you think he's backing Trump? So Tesla would be able to go, to move forward. He can get those government contracts.
Yep.
He is about to suck this country dry.
Couldn't happen at a better time.
Suck it dry.
Could
And
happen
all
at a
these
better
other
time.
billionaires that he's
As
appointing.
long as I get my $1,400. See, this is what America's about. We gonna get $1,400. Elon Musk is gonna get Tesla and the SpaceX and all that
right,
stuff.
right. More money you
More
can shake.
money, more money, more money,
more money you can shake a stick at.
And healthcare is gonna go down.
Because he's going to try to destroy the whole Obamacare deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing he would do before, when he couldn't get McCain to get that last vote, and remember, we just heard him on the debate stage say he had concepts of a plan. In the year 2024, when he was trying to destroy Obamacare in 2012, it's been 12 years, and he still has no plan. None. He had no plan then, but he was trying to destroy it. When he couldn't destroy it, he did things like this. He shortened the time frame of the window of when you could go into the market. Rather than going through, let's say, January of the next year, it was like December 5th, December 15th. So it cut the time frames that people could pick a policy on Obamacare. Then what he would also do, you know how you could get a little temporary plan? Let's say you weren't you weren't at the stage where it was close to open season.
Mm-hmm.
You could get this under Obamacare. You could get this little policy, but it could only go up to 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
He extended that time period where those junk policies could go up to 11 months. So basically, people would start buying those junk policies that had the limitations, didn't have all, it had, when I say limitations, I'm talking about the caps as it relates to how much they would have to spend for any illness, things of that nature. So people start funneling to those because they were what? They were cheaper. You could get them for almost a year. And then he did all of these things just to undermine the whole scheme. And now he's going to be right back at it again. Why is it that this man seems like he just wants to destroy? You don't really hear him talk about what he wants to build. You hear him about what he wants to tear down.
It's a black thing you wouldn't understand.
Well, what's that mean?
It means what it means. It's a play on words. It's a black thing you wouldn't understand. It was a black man who came up with it. You wouldn't understand. Not saying you wouldn't understand. It used to be something that we used to say back in the 80s. It's a black thing.
Yeah, well, I
you
know
wouldn't
all that.
understand.
I know that.
But that's the whole
But the
deal.
thing is, he's trying to tear down everything
He don't care.
that's not even affiliated with black folks.
But if black people can benefit from anything in this country, most white people will try to tear it down. I will say that. If you are a white person and you standing up for righteousness and justice and something benefits somebody black, you're part of the minority, man. You really are.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is,
Okay, I'll give you examples. Okay, let me
what
give
did I
you
just say? I just said we need 40 to 43%.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So that means what? 60 to 57% on the other side.
I want you people to go ahead and make comments on it so we can go back to your comments. But Social Security, for example, Social Security didn't benefit African Americans at first. It didn't benefit African Americans,
Right.
Because if you kept house for people, you didn't get paid Social Security. My grandmother didn't get paid Social Security.
Right.
So if you were a farm worker, you didn't get paid.
Yeah, you weren't
Social-
getting
you wasn't
the
part
farm
of
aid.
that. Okay, so when you
The GI Bill.
the GI Bill, you didn't get the GI Bill.
Right.
Yeah, I read this book called When Affirmative Action Was White.
Right.
So when it benefited black people, then that's when they said, wait a minute, it's a welfare handout.
Right. Right.
It's a governmental program when it benefits white people.
Right.
It's a welfare handout when black people get it. I ain't saying brown people, I'm saying black people, because earlier we didn't address the most obvious thing. With brown people, not all brown people view themselves as brown in the first place.
Right. Right.
Oh, now you're talking about them. I ain't talking about them. I'm saying what is on the birth certificate. On the birth certificate,
Yeah,
it says white.
Yeah, it says white. And that's why when you look at stuff, they'll say, because I've looked at, like demographics, and it'll be a city I look at, and they'll say that, Caucasian 70%, right? But then it'll break out the Hispanic, Caucasian Hispanic, So yeah, so they meshed kind of right on in.
Yeah, and that's what it is, and a lot of black people have this misconception that we're all in this together, and we're not. Your polls just stated that as well about who supported who and what, So we're not in all of this together.
Right. The one thing
we may be in this together, but we all looking at it from a different point of view.
Yeah, but one thing is this though. When we look at it, the Republicans are trying to say they have some mandate, this, that, and the other, but 73 million people still have voted for Harris.
Yep.
73.
And so when President Obama said there's no red state or blue state, there are the United States, I would say, Mr. President, I disagree with you today. There's certain things New York is not going to do that Texas clearly will do.
Right. Well, that's true.
And that's just it.
Let's look and see what the figures are now, as it relates to.
While you're doing that, let me check and see what we have here. We're doing this like Bible band, man. You look at your book, see what we got.
You say idol band.
Bible band, man. Church of God in Christ, man. Right. Some people going on.
Well, why we doing that? Now, we've talked about the election, how we felt. We've talked about things that we think that the Democrats didn't do properly with their messaging. We've talked about the composition of the electorate. Mm-hmm. Why do I have a hard time saying that?
Oh, the election just got your throat.
The composition of the election, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about the aftermath.
Okay.
Because over the last the 5th, what's the day? The 16th. So over the last 11 days, we have had the rollout of the cabinet for the next president. And if you can't gather from that this man has nothing in mind other than, filling his pockets and just trying to amass power, I mean, you living under a rock.
All choked up.
The thing is, this Hedge, what's this guy's name? Supposed to be the defense guy. Head Cox or something? What's his name?
I don't remember his name. I'm looking at notes.
It's Pete, but I looked him up. I had never heard of this guy. And because, I don't watch Fox News. But this guy is a Fox News commentator.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
And the only qualification he has to be on the Department of the Secretary of Defense is that he was in the military.
He was in the military, and he probably watched Saving Private Ryan.
Right. And the thing is this. He was in the military, but he was just a regular field officer. And, and I'm not trying to, cast aspersions on anybody who served and what position or rank they had.
Oh, man, just go ahead. You just did. Go ahead.
No, I didn't. Well, that wasn't my intent.
Yeah, well, not
that
your
wasn't
intent. Okay, that's not
intent.
his intent. It's my intent.
That
This guy
intent.
isn't qualified because he isn't qualified. And you look at his rank, it determines that you're supposed to have some kind of type of higher position in the military, and this guy does not. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna. What can you do to me?
Yeah. I mean, he was a field officer.
He's a field,
and he was
nothing bad about being a field officer, but we didn't hire someone to be a field officer to be over the defense department.
Right. I mean, how many people they say got 81,000 people?
That's
trillions of dollars budget, policy stuff. I mean, he's never commanded a brigade, an army, or nothing. He had his own little platoon that he was handling. But he's supposed to be the Secretary of Defense. I mean, how is that? How is that? And then this lady that they're talking about, this Galbert woman, that they're
Tulsa,
they're trying to make her over the director of intelligence. And so
don't you have to have some kind of form of intelligence to be over the Department of Intelligence?
I would hope so. Even when she was in Congress, she didn't have any oversight with respect to the intelligence community.
Didn't have no intelligence.
Yeah. And we're going to make her, because what happens is there are 17 different organizations in the government that perform intelligence, spying. You got the CIA, you got the FBI, you got the Army. Everybody has their own intelligence branch. And the position that she's going to have as Director of National Intelligence, she's supposed to oversee the clearinghouse for all 17 of these intelligence entities. Synthesize, organize, and make sure the proper information gets up to the top. And she has no experience on it. None. And then we got, Matt Gaetz, the guy who's been going around looking like Eddie Monster for the last 3 years.
He has his eyebrows arched and everything.
Eyebrows arched, hair slicked back, crazy. He looks like Eddie Monster some days. He looked like the Joker some days. I mean, the dude is crazy.
Wait a minute. You what was that word you used earlier about casting what?
Casting aspersions.
Aren't you doing that now, counselor?
About the Joker and Eddie Monster?
Yep.
Well, they're not real people.
You said, yep.
Yeah, they're not real people.
Okay,
Man.
all right.
But you saying I'm doing them a disservice.
Man, but he looks like that. But ain't that the same dude, man, who got a 17-year-old?
Right. Had a 17-year-old sex investigation.
No, he didn't have a sex. No, he had an investigation because he was having sex with a 17-year-old.
Right, with a 17-year-old.
I want to make sure they understand it.
Yeah. He was having, allegedly, they say he was having sex with the 17-year-old.
So
He was kicking it with another guy. I can't remember this guy's name. This guy was he was an office holder out of the state of Florida. And this guy, they got him on some sex stuff with young girls. And if I'm not mistaken, that dude's doing 12 years in the pen. And he and Gertz, or whatever his name is, Getz, they were boys. So they would party together. And so when the other guy got busted, then it kind of flowed over to Getz. And so they were looking at him. But my thing is this.
He's going to be over the Department of Justice.
Department of Justice, overseeing every U.S. attorney in the country. Overseeing.
This is your United States of America.
The United States Attorney's Office prosecute every case in the United States. Not only criminal cases, but civil cases.
It's a joke.
He would be in charge, he would be over the FBI. I mean, dude, this is crazy. And it's all because 47 wants to be able to control who he six the government on. This is about to be crazy town.
It's already crazy.
Just crazy town.
It's crazy, and we get what we deserve. I mean, you asked for this, so hey.
Now you know what? When you say you get.
I'm saying America.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? I want to tell a couple of stories though, because one thing, like I told you, I was a little despondent for a while, and then I just kind of came to grips, man, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to give the people what they want.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying.
You just got to give the people what they want. The analogy I've had a few clients where I would tell them, hey, look, man, you need to take this deal, man, and he'd like, man, I ain't taking the deal. I was like, dude, you need to take the deal. No, I ain't taking the deal. Hey, man, I'm telling you, you need to take this. And we go back and forth, and I usually stick with it a little bit longer than most attorneys, trying to make sure that my client does what's best for them. Mm-hmm. But after a while, when they just headstrong about it, I'm like, all right, man, hey, okay, we're going to do it your way. And sometimes when they do it their way, it don't turn out as good as what I was recommending to them.
That's what you deserve.
Yeah. And so I kind of call that like, hey, look, man, I talk to you. But sometimes the people you got to give them what they want.
Yeah, well, this is what you get.
And so,
America, are you happy?
And so now, along that line, Gail, that's, of course, everybody knows, that's my lovely wife. She and I we were reading the other day, and we just had a good laugh about this, Ed.
What's that?
It was a small manufacturing company that was in the state of Pennsylvania. And after the election, the management people and the owners called all the employees in and told them that because of Trump winning and these tariffs that were about to be imposed, since they get a lot of their stuff from China, that they weren't going to be able to provide Christmas bonuses to the employees because they had to use the money to be able to secure the products they need for all next year, the supplies they need for all next year before the tariffs go into effect. And they said the people were dumbfounded. What do you mean? They said China's paying for the tariffs. And so they had to they being the owners, they had to bring in somebody who explained to them how tariffs work. That the people who buying the goods pay the tariffs, which then get passed on.
Wait a minute, hold on. You mean China's, when we put a tariff on China, China don't pay for it?
No, China don't pay for it.
Okay, let me ask a dumb question.
Okay, go on and ask.
What's a tariff?
Well, it's
I'm playing devil's advocate. I know what a
Yeah.
tariff is, but go ahead.
okay.
Explain.
It's kind of like a tax.
It's a tax.
So basically, what happens is, let's say a good costs $100.
There we go. Break it down, Council.
A good costs $100. I'm in America. I'm getting it from China.
Right,
I decide, hey, look, I need one of these. Send it over to me.
right.
Okay. Well, when it gets over here, right, then it's going to be a 10% tariff that's going to be imposed on it. So I have to pay $110 rather than just $100
And the
to get it.
and the reason for that is because appealing to people's greed, which capitalism does, that means you would go ahead and pay for something that didn't have a tariff or a tax on it, which would be an American good then.
That's correct. Well, that's the theory.
That's the theory.
That's the theory. That's the theory. However,
There we go.
that also would assume
That there is
that,
an American good.
that there is an American option, right? Or two, that the tariff is significant enough where someone is going to build a factory or set up a business to provide that.
Right. So, okay, so let's break this down. Oak Cliff style. Okay, so there's a tariff on ramen noodles. Oak Cliff.
Okay.
You're really breaking it down, Oak Cliff.
Okay.
Ramen noodles. Not saying everybody in Oak Cliff has ramen noodles. We're just breaking it down. Ramen noodles, because I know a lot of people in Oak Cliff, ramen noodles. Okay? So ramen noodles are taxed because they made in China. Okay, so now nowhere else do they make ramen noodles except in China. I'm just breaking it down like that. That means the price of ramen noodles will go up, period, because there's no other option for it to go up. And that's exactly what happened to them people there. There was no
Right.
other option.
You know what? Let me give another example.
Go ahead.
A little more street level example.
I couldn't be no more street level than ramen noodles, man.
Well, I don't know.
How else can you do that?
Well,
Can you top my ramen noodle?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, let's go
All right.
for it. Go.
Okay.
Okay, ramen noodles is pretty street.
Let's say you're gonna buy a $20 bag of weed.
Oh, dang. I give. I give.
And so, if you're gonna buy a $20 bag of weed, right? If you drive over to the weed man's place, you get to pay $20.
Okay.
But if you got somebody that's gonna go get it for you, or somebody who's supposed to be your weed man that you really don't know, that he's just going over paying $20 for the weed, and then he comes over and sells it to you for $30. So that was a tariff, that extra $10.
You broke it down where everybody can understand that.
That's a tariff.
For those people who attend Mr. Todd's church, listen to the ramen noodle. Everybody else go with the weed, man.
Hey, but that's a tariff. Or as they say in the street, they got taxed. That's what they call it.
There you got taxed.
You say, hey, man, the middleman, I mean, were you a part of the deal or you just taxing? I was just taxing, dog. I was just adding extra 10% on it, man. And get my money, man, and gone.
And see, that's why some folks like Donald Trump in the hood.
Boy, what you mean?
What you just say? That gangster stuff.
Oh
man.
yeah. They think he gangster. Yeah. They do.
They do.
But the thing is, what they got to understand, the people who getting gangster is us,
Yeah, we getting
not
taxed.
somebody else.
But they don't care about that. They care about the illusion, man. You know,
No,
yeah.
well, you know what? I mean, they.
But they have no other option but to do that because there's no other option for. Man, I remember when Donald Trump was cool with black folks, man.
Yeah, no, I remember too.
Yeah, Trump style, you know.
Well, you know what? Back in the '80s, I even bought one of his books, man, and read it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. The art of the deal.
The art of the deal. I bought it.
Yep,
Read it.
read it.
Read it.
Did you get Trump vodka and all that too?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't drinking out the well, but
Okay.
he got me for $22.
He got you for $22
back in the day.
Okay. Yeah.
I might still have that book. You know what?
What you gonna do?
Maybe you know what? Maybe that's what we should do, Ed.
What's that?
Maybe we should do a legal standpoint protest where everybody comes up. We bring all of our old Trump books. We go through, do it legal, get us a permit and all that kind of
And we
stuff,
burn it?
and we just burn them
A
all.
book burning.
A
dude.
book burning.
Yeah, a reverse book
A
burning.
reverse book burn.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So let's give you guys something to do. Okay, if you have, first of all, you have to admit you have a Donald Trump book. You know?
Right.
It's like a tax, ain't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. But I'm sure there are other people who bought it too.
Yeah.
But I don't know though. You know what your mama always used to say.
What's that?
Best place to hide money in the house is in a book.
Yep, that's
'Cause
true.
ain't nobody gonna crack it.
That's it. That's it. Mama used to hide money in the Bible and everything.
Right. Or if you put it in the encyclopedia, man, it was safe.
Yeah. What's an encyclopedia?
Oh, you don't know what encyclopedia is? World Book, Britannica. They don't have encyclopedias anymore?
No.
Oh, okay. It used to be a group of books that had information about
Really?
different things in the world.
Well, how can they do that? Stuff change all the time.
Well, this was before the internet.
Oh.
Yeah, this was before the internet, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was before the internet.
See how things change in America? That's how this election has changed. Things will change in America, like vaccinations.
Oh, yeah, we hadn't even talked about this guy. And you know what? This is the thing. This guy wants to take issue with vaccinations that have been going on since
Measles.
for measles. Just think if we start having kids not having their measles shots, and we have an outbreak of measles, and kids start dying over the measles. Why would somebody die over the measles in the year of 2024? Why? Why take that chance?
Well, most people get shots like that through school and stuff. I got my
Right.
shots through school.
But they want to do what? They want to abolish the Department of Education, which sets some type of not curriculum. They don't set curriculum, but they set some standards as it relates to the schools, which I'm sure would include
Measles shots.
measles shots and stuff like that. So if they abolish that, then everybody just gets to do what they want. And then what? You're going to start having these outbreaks of things that are simple, killing a bunch of people.
America gets what it deserves. Man.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to give the people what they want.
Man, you know, I believe it was Malcolm X who once said chickens coming home to roost.
He did say that. They got on Malcolm about that.
Yeah.
This man is beloved by his people. Why would you say that? I must banish you.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad did that.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, but the chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah, I think
January 20th,
I think
2025, on Martin Luther King's birthday.
The irony of that.
The chickens are coming home to roost. I'm going to post that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
On Martin Luther King's birthday,
Yeah.
that man is getting sworn in.
That man.
The South will rise
And
again.
it has rose again.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's sobering. But guess what?
What's that?
We must fight.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
yeah.
that's what he did. I was down in, I think it was Red Oak, Texas, down in Red Oak, Texas, man, taking a site tour of different places in the ballot box and everything. And they had all this Trump stuff, man.
Really?
And it had this, Ellis County had this deal of Trump being shot, holding his ear and everything, saying, we must fight.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that poster.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that poster.
Yep.
Do you think that spurred him on or spurred some of his people to go vote?
What?
The fact of that the attempted assassination.
Was it attempted assassination?
Well, that's what they say it was.
It's a attempted assassination.
Yeah.
It was ear.
Yeah. When his ear got hit by scrapple.
Oh, okay. Because it wasn't a clean shot then.
No, it wasn't a clean shot.
Okay. Man, yeah, because I've been often looking at that someone would make political hay out of what some people view as political theater.
Right. But the thing is this. Now, I asked that question, and then I'm answering it myself. If you look at his numbers from 2020 to 2024, he didn't really have that many more people that voted for him.
No, he always have a base level of people.
You follow me? He's still around 74, 75 million. And that's where he was before.
That's still pretty high.
That's pretty high. But the thing is, Kamala had about 73 right now. I looked at it last night.
That's pretty high, too.
That's pretty high. But we had 81 before. So what that lets me know is that the people he had, he kept. The issue was we still had, what's 73 to 81? 8 million more people who voted last time who didn't vote this time.
But I think it was on both ends, though. I think a lot of Trump people didn't vote for him either. They stayed home, too.
You think so?
Yeah, I think some stayed home.
Okay, well, maybe he had 2 more million. That means we had 6. I mean, we beat him last time like 81 million to 74 million.
Well, I've often said when Trump was running and he won over Hillary Clinton, that the only way that you could beat this guy if another old white man would run against him.
Right. So you don't think anybody like Barack could have beat him?
At this time, no.
I think Barack would have.
No, at this time, no. With the climate this time.
No, I think.
No, it's about a belief thing. At the climate this time. I said the political climate.
I think the biggest.
It's sort of like the fight I watched the other night. I mean, there's no way Jake Paul could beat Mike Tyson back in the day. There's no way that could happen. But the climate in 2024, oh yeah, you'll beat him.
Oh, wait a minute. Time out.
Yeah, go ahead.
It ain't no climate because he can beat him in 2024. He can beat him in 2024 because he's a 58-year-old man who had no business climbing in the ring except for that $20 million he got last night.
That Jake Paul paid for.
Maybe so. But
no, he paid for it.
But what I'm trying to say is that Tyson had no chance. And everybody and their mother was running around talking about Mike gonna do it. I'm like, man, Mike 58.
Looking
That'd
like
be
he's 65.
Man, I saw Mike walking in. He was slunched over. He kind of looked like me a little bit. That's that age.
Man, you look the same as you did when you was at Skyline, man.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Hat and everything.
Yeah,
man.
I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah, but back again to what I was saying. You fell for the okie doke on that one, though, man. You just did. But the reality, what we're going back on that is what I was saying originally, though. The climate. Barack Obama is a far more talented politician than any other politician around.
Right.
So
So
he couldn't have got away with that with Barack Obama. I don't think he could have.
So I don't think it had to just be a white male.
But I'm saying here the political climate. After you go through 8 years of Barack Obama and then 4 years of Trump, and now that puts us at a different space and time. So now what we're dealing with now is how America has changed. And that's what I'm saying. So what I said in one of my papers was, why does America hate black males? And then to follow, why does America hate Barack Obama? This becomes so racist in tone with that. So what I'm saying was that the only way that he could have got beat is if another older white male did it. That's the only reason why Kamala Harris picked Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Because he looked like a
good old boy.
Good old boy.
Yeah, good old boy.
You didn't pick Shapiro. She picked Shapiro in the first place. But she didn't want to do that because she thought the Muslim community would be against her, which they were against her anyway.
Oh, okay. And you know what? Because I know we're coming up on it, right?
Let's keep going, man. They ain't in here. Let's go.
Okay. But the thing is, I just gave you the example a while ago of the manufacturing firm in Pennsylvania.
Right.
I read an article today because the Muslim brothers up in Michigan, they had this whole deal. They had these associations that came together. We're not voting for Kamala, this, that, and the other, so and so, right?
Could have been sexist there too.
Yeah, could have been, but they
Don't know.
But we know they had an issue with Gaza and all that. Okay,
Yep,
I'm gonna give them that.
exactly.
I'm with them with that.
What a big issue with Gaza.
Yeah,
I have
I'm-
that issue too.
Yeah, I do too. But the fact of the matter is this: they are now feeling betrayed because he being Trump has designated Mike Huckabee,
Yeah.
the evangelist, right? Who believes solely in Israel,
Right.
who has talked about Israel, he's pro-Israel, as the ambassador to Israel.
Mhm.
They have who's the other person?
Ain't that bad enough already?
No. It's
gets
like
worse?
It's like 4 different people that he has given that he's going to make a part of his cabinet that the Muslims are now saying this is bad. This is not what we had in mind. He said that he was going to bring peace, right? Now the problem that they had is they thought he was saying P-E-A-C-E. When he said I'm bringing peace, he was talking about a piece of them, because he don't care about them, man.
Chickens coming home to roost. That's what
Chickens
another
coming home-
Muslim said.
Yeah.
Chickens
Dude,
come
he
home
does
to
not
roost.
care, and he is going to. And they should have known that. His plan.
And that was in Michigan, right?
That's in Michigan.
Okay, that's fine. Chickens coming home to roost.
And you know what? This person that I read about was saying he won Michigan because of us. Right? He does not care.
Chickens coming home to
Yeah,
roost. To all
yeah.
the Muslims who did that, okay, that's fine.
Right.
I mean, that's what you get.
Right.
I have no control over who you voted for, who you didn't vote for. Chickens coming home to roost.
Yeah,
The words
yeah.
of that great philosopher who of the legal system, I believe was Richard Pryor, who said, "You'll learn next year." You learn next year.
Well, that's the sad part, though, is
Yeah.
that it might be 2 years, and who knows what
Yeah,
we're going to
well,
look like.
hey, they'll learn now.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah. All right, Ed.
No, they ain't here. Let it go.
Ed, I don't know about you, man. I got a wife, man.
Okay.
I got to get home, man.
Well, you go on and get home, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, you go ahead and get home. And in the meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll talk to America, because our person hasn't came in to turn us off, man.
Oh, really?
No, because she got to turn that off, man. So
Oh,
you
okay.
want to get on up and go tell them to turn the thing
Oh,
off.
now look how you gonna treat me, man.
I ain't treat you like that.
like I'm just walking out on folks.
No, I don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what I can do? I can do that, you know. But you know that's the deal what they got today for some reason.
Yeah. Seemed like they would have checked on us by now, huh?
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we feel like stepchild. We feel like those Muslims in
In
Michigan.
Dearborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's rough right now, man. It's gonna be rough. But hey, you know what? One thing I can say, let me close up with this. I read something this past week, and I've known this for a while, but I got some additional information that out of all the groups in America, and black folks, Hispanic folks with that with degrees, folks, high school diplomas, white folks, whatever. Out of all the people in America, everybody's mortality rate, meaning the age of when they die, is going up, meaning people are living longer, except for one group.
Black folk.
No, not black folks. The group that's going down is Caucasian folks, high school education or below. And those individuals, the mortality rate is going down. They are dying quicker than other groups. And they're also dying quicker, or the mortality rate is going down even in comparison to black and Hispanic folks who are similarly situated as them, meaning just with high school degree or lower. So in essence, and then the two major causes that are causing this decrease in the mortality rate is alcoholism, okay? Excuse me, not alcoholism, overdosing, and suicide. Those are the two things. And it was this deal I was looking at from Johns Hopkins, and they asked this lady who was giving the speech, and they asked her, well, if you have black and Hispanic folks that are high school graduates whose mortality rate is going up, why is it that the white individuals that are similarly situated is going down? And the answer that she gave was really pretty profound. She said that these individuals have had a more secure situation in the past, and now they're having to work these gig jobs.
2 jobs.
The jobs are not as secure as before. They're not able to secure their future as it is, and that it's a group of individuals where they're not seeing the generational progress, right, that they were accustomed to. And so it just seems that you've got these people who are confronting these unknowns, and they're turning to drugs and turning to killing themselves to make the mortality rate go down. So when you say, chickens come home to roost, chickens do come home to roost, but we, black folks, Hispanic folks, just hard-nosed folks, generally know how to navigate through things.
Well, that's going to be the whole situation. I've just sent word for them to go ahead and turn the stream off. But you guys are getting the extended version here. So that's a good side of it. But, the chickens coming home to roost, meaning that we can get past this, but we shouldn't even be in a situation where we can get past
Right.
it.
Well, I guess I would.
No, I'm not.
I was
that's not a criticism.
No. I was piggybacking on what you said,
Right.
Because you said for the next year. I was saying 2 years, but I wanted to make the point. We know how to get through stuff.
Yeah, we do know how to get.
You know
through
what
it.
I'm saying? So we're gonna be okay.
Well, we have no other option.
Yeah, we have no other option.
But other people.
Because our folks have come from slavery,
from
secondary citizenship.
Right, you can't get no worse than
exclusion of voting rights.
You can't get no worse than
lynched.
That. You can't
hung,
get no worse than that. Can't get no worse than that.
And for us to say today that it's as bad as then would just be disingenuous.
And that's how some people view this whole situation as well. With that, is they say, well, when we say things are bad, they counter with, well, those things happened to you back then, so they can't be that bad. Well, they are that bad. That don't mean we can't say they're not bad.
Right.
But don't downplay us when we say stuff is bad, because really what they're saying is shut up.
Yeah, well, shut up.
It could be like that.
It could be like that. That's the point. Yeah. So
next time someone say that, I'm gonna scratch my head. Go, yes, boss. I guess you're right. Could be worse.
Yeah.
So that being said, I am going to go ahead, and since you are there, I'm going to go ahead and go to the other show and pull them out and tell them that you can go ahead and talk to the folks right quick and talk to the camera right quick.
Yeah. All right.
I will roll myself over here.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long week or two, but we're gonna make it though. We're gonna make it. It'll be all right. We just got to keep fighting. The Democratic governors are getting together, and they're going through taking actions that they think are going to be to contest actions that the Trump administration is going to be taking. So that's going to be something that's going to be beneficial to us. So we have to support those organizations. We make sure that we're giving to those individuals that are pushing what your view is, or contesting things. We're going to have to support organizations like the ACLU, because as they try to impose some of these things that are like separation of children again, or trying to make these detention camps where they're trying to cut off people, things of that nature. The ACLU is going to be an organization that's going to be fighting that. So we need to make sure that, their coffers are full. You know, all the stuff they're gonna still try to, ban Black history, all of that stuff. So I mean, it's about to be a rough 2 years, but we can make it. But we just got to keep our hands up and keep fighting. All right, it's been a great deal. Hey, appreciate y'all. I came in here with a little heavy heart today, but hey, I feel lifted just from the conversation. Everybody have a good night. Bye.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors.